Salute, folks. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall, and I've returned today to whap and tap on your head with another, the right questions. Know what to ask. Before I go in, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. So today, I want to take a look at something that I speak to with a lot of my clients, and they don't quite know what it is. And it's kind of hard to explain it to them. But we're going to be looking at something called estate shrinkage, which is basically when you pass things down, when you die, and you pass your assets down to the next generation, you want to make sure that they get the full amount of what you're giving them. For example, if you're sending $1 million to your son, you want to make sure he gets the whole $1 million, not half of it. And that's how you avoid estate. That's called estate shrinkage. That will make sure he got the $500,000. So what is estate shrinkage? Definition of estate shrinkage. It's a decline in an estate's value when the estate owner dies because of death-related expenses, to include estate taxes, estate administration costs, funeral expenses, and outstanding estate debt. How can we prevent estate shrinkage? You can reduce estate shrinkage through trusts, gifts, and other options, one being life insurance. Liquidity. If money is not readily available to pay final expenses, your assets may have to be sold, perhaps at bargain prices. So all too often what happens is people tell you, real estate is the fastest way for generational wealth. And let's say you have that house paid off in full and you have it set to pass down. Big Mama have it set to pass down to Uncle Robert. Well, Uncle Bob is gonna get that house, but he has things to pay for because when Big Mama died, she went to hospice care, and that's $100,000 and all this other stuff, and he ain't got it. So he's gonna turn around and be like, well, ain't nobody trying to live in Big Mama's house anyway, let's sell it. And the creditors are gonna be knocking on the door. Hey, Bob, we need this $100,000. And he's gonna be like, well, I'm gonna have to sell this house quick. I know it's worth $1 million, but ain't nobody got $1 million, and it's been 6 months, and ain't nobody bid on buying this house. So let me sell it for $500,000. No, all right, let me sell it for $250,000. And then somebody comes and scoops it up for $250,000. Why? Because Uncle Bob was under stress. He didn't have the money to pay all these other debts, and he had his own bills coming, and he wasn't going to come out of his pocket to pay for these old debts. That's why it's important to also have life insurance. What are the sources of estate depreciation? What's meant by estate depreciation? The estates people leave for their heirs at death can be depleted by taxes and other expenses that become due at the time of death. Okay, so now let's see what are estate costs. So it is the cumulative expense incurred during the transfer of the property and estates previously owned by a deceased individual. So estateexec.com, let's see, what is an expense of the estate? So let's go to truestate.com and see what they say. They have a whole article. I'm not going to look at it, but I'm going to take a look here. To put it bluntly, administering an estate is expensive. Between property maintenance, potential legal fees, and memorial expenses, the bills can add up quickly. If you're left wondering how one is able to afford this expensive and seemingly endlessly work, then read on for information. We're going to look at the 5 expense categories of estate administration. So, last debts, property maintenance and management expenses, distribution expenses, fees, and taxes. So what ends up happening all too often is too many people die without assets or without valuable assets, and they think they just transferred over to the next of kin in a digital will or what have you, and unfortunately that's not true. Here they're telling you it's important to note that some expenses the estate may incur will become income tax deductible. Even if some are not, they are likely still permissible to be paid by the estate rather than out of the executor's pocket. So remember, the executor has to be paid, especially if it's not like a family member, if it's like an attorney. So those are more fees. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today. Make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And remember, folks, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.